Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
Open our hood. There are two positions for the prop rod. There's a normal position, and then there's also a further maintenance position. So I'm going to set it in that one. I have a little more access to get this cowl panel off. I'm going to start by removing this weather seal. Simply just lift it and pull it right off. And we're going to put that aside so we can reuse it. To remove this upper part of the cowl cover, there's 3 clips. There's one here, one in the center, and then one on the passenger side. So I'm going to use a clip prying tool. Slide it under there. You can kind of feel the clip underneath. Just try to pop it up. I'm actually going to use some needle nose pliers to squeeze the clip together underneath and pop it up. I'm going to lift up this center part, just kind of pull it off of the metal, and pull it out and up. It's got clips to it. Lift it straight out, it's got a bunch of clips. Get the other side free. So this one's just kind of stuck in it. Push down here. Kind of lift up here, there we go. And kind of roll it forward because the window washer hose is underneath. Pop it out. Let's see, the easiest way, there's a coupler right here, so I will disconnect it right here. Clip that back in. You can see all of the clips that are holding this in. Now we can take this out. To remove this metal cowl piece that's underneath the plastic, there are 2 12mm bolts on both the driver's and the passenger side, and then a 10mm bolt in front of those on both the driver and the passenger side. I'm going to start with the 10mm bolts. Put that bolt aside. These look a little bit rusty, so I'm going to spray some rust penetrant on them. Again, I'm working on the 10mm one first. Switch to a 12mm socket to remove these 2 bolts. I'm going to spray some rust penetrant on these. Now I've moved them out a little bit. I'm going to turn them back in because I want to work the rust penetrant into the threads. Now I'm going to start turning them back out. I may have to repeat this a couple times to get them to come out smoothly. And I've gotten it out without breaking it. Do the same over here with some rust penetrant. We're going to just do the same thing, go in and out, applying rust penetrant, just trying to work it in the threads so these bolts come out smoothly. In addition to these bolts, there's one bolt at the rear that's sort of vertical on either side, both the driver's and the passenger side. I'm going to spray some rust penetrant on that one because I can see the back side of it. And this is a 10mm. Got it broken free. I reach in there and remove it with my hand. And do the same for the bolt on the other side. one final 10mm bolt directly in the middle. Spray some rust penetrant in there as best I can. Just trying to get that bolt out and to fall at least on this cowl piece. Didn't sound like it went all the way down, so maybe it's still caught in the cowl piece. I'm going to carefully pull the cowl piece out. Well, actually, I can see the bolt fell down here under the wiper transmission. So I've got it. You want to be careful removing this. It's got some thin edges on here. You could cut your hands, so just be careful taking this out of here and handling it. We're going to put it aside because we can definitely reuse this, obviously. But now we have access to the back of the engine. Reinstall the lower cowl piece. Set that right into place. I'm going to start by installing the 10mm bolts back in place. Since the bolt in the middle is really in there deep and I don't want to drop it, I'm going to take some masking tape and just stick it on the bolt head. It just helps the bolt stay in there. And I'm going to use a driver handle with my extension. It's a little more control on it. I might have to move this around a bit. If the tape stayed there, no big deal. I'm going to install this one that's in here. Now I'm going to work on the 12mm bolts that were in here. Before we put the plastic trim back, I'm just going to take some glass cleaner and just clean up the base of the windshield. All right, reinstall the plastic trim. Don't forget to reconnect your windshield washers, because otherwise they won't work for you. It'll just be spraying windshield washer fluid underneath here. I plug the connector back in. Flip this back up. Get it lined up in place. Push the clips down. This side lined up. Got to reinstall the clips. One on the outside there, one in the middle, one here on the driver's side. Now we're just going to reinstall our underhood seal. You can see it's been contoured and it matches up with the contour of this. Put it in the same exact way. Just pushes right down over the plastic. Just go along, push it in place.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.